What is up, guys? Beancrew49 here. We are back on the Desolation map. And today we return to the scene of the crime, the Centuries Cinema. And I worked a little bit on the exterior for you guys in a previous video, and I want to really get an exterior push today. You know, we might even finish it. I hate to say finish because that word is a dirty word, okay? I always have more to do, more to add, and there's always something else that I can think of. So I'm not going to call it finished, but I think in today's video we're going to get the majority of this exterior cinema done. That means we're one step closer to the edge and I'm about to break, okay? Yeah, so I got to do some more interior stuff, unfortunately. But we're getting close to having a completed cinema here. It's exciting, guys. It's super exciting. I got Diamond A-Team helping me out here today. Thank you, Diamond, for your work and your help and everything you do. I really do appreciate it. It makes this video go smoothly and faster. So, yes, thank you, Diamond A-Team. He's working on the other side while I work on this side. He's putting up a wall. After I finish the exterior, I'm going to go inside and work on something. You'll see. You'll see at the end. So I'm not going to spoil the surprise right now. But I'll be working on something. Are you guys asking Q&As? A lot of you have submitted Q&As for episode 250. This might be your last chance on this video because I'm going to record the Q&A very shortly after I make this video. So, you know, this is probably your last video to do it in, guys. So if you have any questions that you want me to answer, put them in the comment section below. Write Q&A. But don't let that stop you from thinking of creative questions of the week to ask me, because we need some more fresh questions. Always need more fresh questions, and I know you guys have more fresh questions always. So if you have a creative question of the week question, put the CQOTW, whatever you want to put. Just let me know which question it's for, whether it's for the Q&A or for the creative question of the week. Okay, so now that you know what we're building and you know what to do with the comments, let's take a look at today's creative question. It comes from Ultimate Breakdown, and he asks, if you were the President of the United States, what will you change and why? Have a great week. Well, thank you, Ultimate Breakdown. You have a great week as well, and thank you for asking this gorgeous question. It's gorgeous, okay? It's pretty timely, you know, the presidential election is heating up in the United States, and, you know, there's a lot of infighting now between candidates who were previously friendly. They all want the power, guys. They all want the power. And no one would ever give me power, okay? No one would ever give me power. But it's fun to think about. So let's have fun with this question. Let's think about this a little bit. If I were President of the United States, my number one goal would be the complete abolition of all government. That's right, guys. I know it doesn't make sense. So you're given the power over the government, and the one thing you would do is get rid of government? Absolutely yes. I think that's one of the biggest hurdles facing humanity today is our faith in government. And I'm not saying, okay, government's corrupt, so it should go. What I'm saying, guys, is governments treat you like a slave. And you're not like a slave, you are a slave. That's the number one thing I want you guys to take away from this video, is that you are in slavery right now. And you're a slave to your own government. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, let's think about this. What's our current society like? The idea of society is for you to get to 18 years old, and you either go to college or you don't. So let's say you go to college, you put it on hold for 4 years, but your idea is to get a job. And your idea is to do this job for 40 hours a week, 5 days a week. So basically you work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday you're kind of tired from working, so you don't do much. So really you get 1 day a week to do whatever you want. And you make a paycheck, you make a salary, and this paycheck is wonderful because you can afford to buy a car, you can afford to buy a house, you can get married, you can have kids. It's great, isn't it? Right? It's wonderful. It's the American dream to have a nice car with a big house with 2.5 kids and beautiful wife. That's the dream of most people, isn't it? But what are they not telling you? For those of you who don't work, you don't understand this yet. But out of every paycheck you get, the government takes about 30%. Maybe more in some cases, maybe less. Okay? They take over a third of your salary. It's closer to 40% actually. Okay, so they take about a third of your salary. So you went to work Monday through Friday, 40 hours a week, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year. You went to this job to make money for yourself, when in reality, you made a bunch of money for your employer, and you made a bunch of money for the government. Okay? Now, you bought a car, right? Okay, so you bought a car with that money. But for that car, you gotta pay DMV fees. Okay? You gotta pay registration fees to the government. So that's more of your paycheck going to the government. And you're like, oh man. Okay, well at least I got my car. So I also have my house. But then you gotta pay property tax to the government. 1% of your total home's value each year. You gotta pay to the government. A tax on breathing. A tax on owning property basically is a tax on breathing. So the government is taking all this money from you. And it's not just money, because money is your energy. You put all this energy into going to work. You could have been doing the things you love, but instead you went to this office cubicle and you put your time and energy and effort into this thing, and the government just took it. They took a bunch of it. So they're not just taking your money, they're taking your energy. They're taking time spent away from your family doing something you don't really want to do. Okay? And the government takes it. And they tell you, oh, we're going to invest in the schools and the roads and, public services. We're going to give this money back to you. But is that what happens, guys? Is that what happens? Or do they use it for overseas wars where each bomb they drop, hundreds of bombs a day, cost several $1 million each? People are going starving in the streets. They could subsist on $3 a day, but instead we gotta drop a bunch of bombs on Syria. For what? I don't know. Why are we dropping bombs on Syria? I don't know. Ask CNN. Maybe they'll tell you. Maybe they'll tell you the reason. So the government misappropriates the funds that you give it. You've worked your whole life. I mean, because one day you're going to wake up and you're 75 and you've spent a third, it's more than a third, it's more like half. Half of that time, half of that energy went to your government. And what did they do with that money? They went to go kill people. They went to go subjugate other governments to impose their dominance. They gave you a terrible school system. They give you terrible benefits. The roads are jacked up. Your water is poisoned by the government. If you live in the United States, go check out my sodium fluoride video. It's another creative question of the week. They intentionally poison your water to keep you sick. And then, so they taken my money. At least I have these beautiful kids. At least I have my kids. I love my kids so much, so dearly. They're my babies. But guess what? The government wants you to have your 2.5 kids. Do you know why? Because that's 2.5 more slaves. That's another 2.5 sources of income for the government. Do you see what's happening here? They want you to procreate. They want you to buy this house. They want you to buy this nice car with heavy taxes on them. Because you are a ATM machine for the government. You're an ATM machine. And they want you to have kids because that's more of a tax income. There's more income for them. 1% of the world's population has 99% of the wealth. I'm going to say that again even slower because it's something that you have to think about. 1% of the world's population has 99% of the wealth. Someone's in control and it's not you. Does that sound like a slave owner to you? Isn't that how you treat your slaves? Keep them with nothing while you have everything? And make them work for you while they do it? And make them like it? And make them like it. Make them think that you're doing them a favor. Or they're doing you a favor, other way around. Does that sound like slavery to you? It sounds like slavery to me. You are a free, sovereign being. You came into this world with no restrictions. I don't care what you believe, whether God or Allah or Krishna or nothing. Either way, it doesn't matter. You came into this world owing no one anything. Until you learn about a government. And suddenly these people own you. So what would I do as president? I would get rid of governments. Governments are evil. Every single one of them. They are corrupt. They're basically slave owners on a plantation, getting you to work for them and giving you nothing in return. Oh, they gave me an education? They've taught you lies to help further their agenda, further their plan. The things you learn in school are lies. Not everything, but a lot of it are lies. They get you through the media, through television, through movies, to have a false sense of who you are and what you should be doing here. You should be here to live your life in the way that you see fit. Every single day of your life should be filled with love and excitement and splendor. You shouldn't have to go to work to afford these things you don't need so that you can pay the government. Don't you guys see something wrong with that? I do. So I would get rid of the government. A lot of you saying, oh, but without the government keeps us safe. From who? Other governments? All governments need to go, and it needs to happen yesterday. Yesterday. Governments spend money on military so they can prove their might. So they can push around other governments. So they can steal from other governments. How is this the way that we're supposed to live life? A lot of you are saying, well, the governments keep us safe, you know. They provide stuff for us. This is what I would do as president. I would say, no longer do we need a government. I want communities to run themselves. Okay? Think about the city you live in. What if no one was in charge? You think there would be anarchy? Maybe. Maybe there would be. And a lot would have to happen we can't overnight get rid of government. Of course that doesn't work. Because human beings are so used to government that the moment you give them freedom, a lot of the bad apples are going to go berserk, probably, maybe. But if you believe in humanity, then you know that that's not the majority of people. The majority of people want to live in peace and harmony and love with each other. There's a few bad apples, yes. And it would take a lot of work for us to distinguish who they are and throw them in prisons or whatever we got to do to them. Okay, there's bad apples. I understand that, and they would take advantage. So it would be a long process, and it could not happen overnight. But over time, with more people living a life of love and you know, not being a slave, not being an indentured servant, then we could do it. We could have communities run themselves. Like Gaia. This Gaia is gonna be an experiment. I know it's not real life or anything, but can we do it in Minecraft? I'm thinking we could. Of course, a lot of these leaders are gonna treat their countries like their governments, but you're gonna see that I'm not gonna do it that way, okay? I'm gonna show you through Gaia what I think society should be like. And it should be like every single human being is absolutely equal. There is no one in charge to tell you how to live your life because you are a free, sovereign being. You are free to do what you want. You've been given the gift of life. You're not meant to be working for a faceless entity who's going to use the spoils of your labors to kill people. That's not what life is supposed to be, guys. You're supposed to be pursuing your creativity, pursuing your love, pursuing your connection with other people. Not working in a cubicle to pay for bombs. Something's wrong here. Something's absolutely wrong. And the fact that people don't see this is kind of aggravating, but I think people are waking up slowly but surely. People are starting to see this. They're starting to see how the media is manipulating them at every single turn. How they're being manipulated through television and movies and newspapers and music. The 1% stands to lose a lot. If the 99% suddenly stand up one day and say, you know what, this is not working. Maybe they have all the money in the world, but 99% to 1, 99 to 1, no one can defeat those odds. But it takes everyone to understand that there's a problem and that this is not the way that life is supposed to be on this planet. This is not the way life is supposed to be on this planet. It's time for us to stand up, to gain our voice. You know, just like the slaves, they've been slaves so long that they don't know anything else. They don't even know that they're supposed to be free because they've been slaves so long. But there's a few slaves that understand that it's time to break the chains, stand up, and fight for what you deserve. You deserve peace, love, and happiness. Go out and get it. And you're not going to get it from your government. You have to do it for yourself. For yourself. Alright, guys. So that's what I would do if I was president. Okay? Were you expecting that answer? I don't think so. I don't think so. Yes, I would totally get rid of the government. Government can kiss my butt. Alright, guys? It's evil. It is inherently evil. There's no good government in the world. Each government is inherently evil because power corrupts. That's why you can't give people power, because it invariably corrupts in every instance. Every situation, power corrupts. That's why no one can have that kind of power. No one should have that kind of power. We are all equal. Alright, I'm gonna go check in on Diamond 18. He's doing a poster for Straight Outta Coveton. Alright, he's got the gang colors up there. Alright, we're working on some movie posters. This is looking nice. I like it. Good job, Diamond 18. Thank you for your help. And thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for all your questions, for the Q&A, and for your creative questions of the week. I know I have a unique perspective. I don't expect anyone to just take what I say on face value. I want you guys to ask questions. Just ask your own questions constantly. Why am I working my whole life to pay for this government's misconduct? Why? Do you support bombing Syrian homes? I don't know if you do. Anyway, that is the video for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Leave a like if you did. Leave some creative questions of the week for me. And that's all I want to say. Happy Minecrafting. Peace.